Yeah. Dishonest reporter at the Washington Post just got a glorious, well-deserved roast. Thanks to the owner of Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, catching wind of a hit piece they were writing about him. Apparently, the Democracy Dies in the Darkness doofuses had been reaching out to the sponsors of a pizza event that he hosts and asking if they felt comfortable being associated with him. WAPO didn't bother giving Portnoy a call beforehand for comment, so he called them.
You're basically sending an email that says, to the effect, Dave's a misogynist, racist.
I haven't said anything like that.
If you want, I can read what you actually sent. I have it. We are planning to write about the festival and how some of the sponsors and participants have drawn criticism by seemingly to associate themselves with Dave Portnoy, who has a history of misogynic comments and other problematic behavior.
Oh, that's the one I sent to, which was definitely the most pointed of them.
That is pretty pointed. You said you didn't do it. Then I have the exact evidence of you doing it. So
No, I didn't say I didn't do that. I said I did. That was the one that was the most pointed.
Well, no, that one before I provided proof, you said you didn't really remember doing that, and then I read it to you, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I did it that one time." So you did do it.
Wow, she backpedaled like Lance Armstrong in a windstorm. But by the way, Dave, it's misogynistic. I didn't know what you were talking about. Those smear tactics seem pretty shocking, but apparently that is how the liberal media operates.
This is kind of standard journalistic stuff. Like,
Unfortunately, yes.
I was hoping for a dialogue with them. You know, sometimes you have to say something like, this is like, you know, it's sort of a reporting tactic. When you want someone to respond, you kind of have to indicate that there might be something negative, and then you get them to engage. That's all I was trying to do. I really wanted them to engage with me.
That is a sad state of journalism if that's a tactic that you have to, what I would say is make up something about somebody.
Amen. We reached out for comment from WAPO multiple times, but we haven't heard back. If you want to hear more from Portnoy, he will be on Jesse's show tonight, helping with the ratings. So, Jesse, this was not about a story. It was a strategy to damage a business by targeting and scaring advertisers. We all know how that feels. I mean, why is the food editor trying to get a pizza festival canceled?
Right. This is corporate terrorism.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be doing reviews for food. It's not like he made her some ossobuco that wasn't well presented. This is a guy who's not even a chef.
Yeah.
He doesn't even own a restaurant. And this food critic is trying to take down a charitable event.
Yes.
This is a pizza party to help small business owners, and she's trying to destroy it. So you have Media Matters that run ad boycotts to take down popular companies and people. And then you have journalists that run ad boycotts to take down popular people. They're the same thing. This is an agenda. So why do they have this agenda? Why is Dave Portnoy such a threat? That's the question I'm going to ask him tonight. Because for the Washington Post, they don't compete against Barstool Sports. Is it because he's politically incorrect? Is it because they're not in the same tribe? Is it because hate sells or division sells? I don't know. But this woman, and we get this all the time. You've gotten it. You've gotten it. This is what they do. They go in, the editor tells them what to write. Story's 95% written. They call all your sponsors or all your advertisers and everybody that hates you, and then they write about all of your controversies. And then 5 minutes before the deadline, they say, hey, we'd like you to comment.
Exactly.
And then you just check the box, boom, and then it's going to kill you. And it's the most disgraceful and dishonest thing. The fact that she got caught and then lied and says this is a journalistic tactic. Now tell me if this is journalism. You lie to some sponsor and say, your house is on fire, you got to call me back. And then they call you back and say your house isn't actually on fire, but it might be if you don't do what we say. That's not journalism. That's a threat. She's taking hostages. And this is disgraceful. I'm so glad he recorded it. I wish I could record it. They're doing one on me right now, and I know it's going to go about the same way.
Oh, poor Jesse.
I'm going to jump on that grenade for you.
Yeah.
You better, Dana.
You do not seem smarter with glasses, but it's okay. So, Dana, it was so refreshing. It's a lesson that you should record things when reporters call you. But what's worrisome is that most people don't have the savviness or experience to know what to do, like what Dave did, because he's in the media. He's in the media. But a lot of people who get called by a reporter, they think the reporter has their best interest in mind.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, although I think in this case, he has shown people how you can do it, and also there are now the tools to do it. So I've worked in Republican communications for a long time. Back then, there's no way for you, there was no recourse.
Yeah.
And there was one guy, a guy whose name was, Michael Isikoff.
Yeah.
Yes, from Newsweek at the time. When we worked at Justice Department, right after 9/11, I swear to you, every Friday at 5:02 p.m., he would call and say, well, have I got a story that's going to ruin your weekend?
Oh.
And then you would have to scramble on Fridays at 5 o'clock, and it happened every weekend. I appreciate all of the work that he did on it. But it would really be one of those things where you think, he's already written the story. All he wants is a comment from us. And watch, when conservatives are quoted, it's almost always the last quote in the story, and it's maybe one sentence out of 25 that you gave them, nothing that really defends yourself, and it's a real pain in the rear. So I think that now that there are ways that you can get this information out on social media, that you're not powerless.
Yeah.
If this happens.
Yeah, that's a heartening part, Jessica. On the upside, the reporter was just offered a job at CNN. Do you? Is there any way to defend her behavior? Do you buy her excuse?
I didn't actually even get an excuse out, or I didn't see anything. I thought.
Well, she lied, and then she said,
No,
this
I'm
is...
saying I didn't see her really defending it in any sort of coherent way. It just seemed like
She's caught.
I don't know why she wouldn't have hung up. Frankly, that's what I would have taken the L after about 3 minutes of that. And I would have called, she said she had someone that she's writing this with. I would have called him or her up and said, we're completely effed.
Yeah.
Like, this is not gonna go well. And I think that you do need to think about in advance the subject of your piece. If you are trying to write this piece with this angle, right, you're gonna ignore the pizza component and you wanna go for the misogyny. And there's plenty of Dave Portnoy misogyny on record, right? This isn't something that would surprise anyone. It is part of his image. It has been around for as long as Dave Portnoy has been around. On record comments.
I don't know. What has he said? I don't read his stuff.
Okay, well,
I mean, you're calling him a misogynist. You're doing what she's doing, but you need to have some kind of backup. Do you have some quotes?
I do.
Okay,
I wrote them down. And I want to say, I enjoy a lot of Dave Portnoy's content. My local pizza place blew up because he came and did one of his reviews. And I don't have anything against Barstool. I know exactly what it is. But you could look at the comments about ESPN host Sam Ponder, saying her job's #1 requirement is to make men hard. He called her an effing SLUT. That's not nice. Said Harvey Weinstein had been making legitimate, quote, fair trades. Obviously, Harvey Weinstein was not making any kind of fair trade. What she did is she martyred him, right? I was reading the comments on Twitter. He posted the video. And then people are saying, I really don't like Dave Portnoy, but this is horrible. How could the Washington Post do this? And so he walks out of this as king of the castle, and he got to remind people, which was an amazing thing that he did, how much money he raised for folks during COVID when the PPP loans weren't necessarily coming through, and became a bit of a small business hero there. It's disappointing, and I don't think that she's correct that this is the way that journalism works. I think that she slandered a lot of very good journalists who would not have led with an email saying, Dave Portnoy, this doesn't have to do with pizza. I just want to talk about all the bad stuff.
That's a good point, Judge. Is this a rule or an exception to the rule? Do you think this is is she just one of the bad ones, or is she smearing an entire group? Or reflecting an entire group.
Yeah, I think that she's reflecting an entire group. I think that this clearly confirms that there is a media bias. I think it confirms the way she conducted herself. This doesn't sound like it's out of the ordinary. I mean, first she tried to hide, and then she denied, and then she lied. And then she puckered out at the end and didn't even want it. He said, hey, I'm here. You want to interview me? Interview me. And then the question is, how long does someone have to be tarnished by allegations, many of which have never been proven in court? So, I mean, you can have an opinion, but this is about pizza. She's the food writer, okay? During the pandemic, this guy was a hero. This guy saved people's businesses. He helped raise almost $30 million. So what you want to do is you want to take away the sponsors from him, trash him, and end him. None of that makes sense as part of a food writer's mission. This is a political agenda, and it's not something that happens just once in a while. It happens a lot. depending upon what side of the aisle you're on.
I don't think Portnoy is a conservative, by the way. I mean, he is very pro-choice and has been very loud about that.
He's a business person. He believes in merit. He believes in capitalism. He believes in a lot of the stuff we believe in.
Yeah, but your point is well taken, which is like it's a food column. This is, again, another example of politics invading areas, whether it's sports or entertainment. Now it's food. Lady, stick to making donuts.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.